Sure your phone is on mute.
Live.
All right.
And let me know when you want.
What's up, good people? How you doing, good people? This is Larry Jones. Welcome to Stock Up. I have a guest today I'm very excited about. This is what everybody's talking about. AMC, naked shorts, the squeeze. This is what everybody's talking about. And I just thought I would bring on one of the best people I know who's leading the troops, who's leading the quote unquote apes in this. He knows more, to me, he knows more than the talking heads. And I trust him more than the talking heads. And he has rise to the top. He's one of the frontline soldiers. And that person is Matt Kohrs. Let's bring him in. Matt.
Hey, what is going on? I appreciate that introduction. Awfully kind of you. I'm just another ape in Ape Nation. I'm excited to talk about what's going on.
Yes, man, it's a lot that we could talk about, like an awful lot. Hey, I'm going to start out lightly, though, so I can give people time to come in. Have my technician just hook this up right quick. First of all, thanks for accepting my invite. Man, you like James Brown. You the hardest working man on YouTube.
I appreciate that.
I say you and Stock Mo are like the two. Like I was telling someone earlier that in my day on my desk, I have 3 computers. One I'm watching the market, one I'm studying, and the other I have Matt Kohrs on in the background, like for 7.5 hours a day. And it's just going on. And every now and then I'll chuckle and my wife will go, "What are you talking about?" And I was just like, Matt just said something kind of crazy.
Yeah, more often than not, we kind of go off the rails on some of these days. But it's really one of those things that the energy of the group, like all of a sudden, like the stock will get moving and like I'll see the chat just like explode and the excitement. Like I know it's nowhere close to like a stage performer, but it's somewhere awkwardly in the middle because I see the energy and then I get going and then I say something crazy and then it gets going even more. But it's a blast.
Oh my goodness, it's good entertainment. I tell you that. I'm going to ask first. I got a couple of questions written down. First thing I want to know is what actually is your background?
So my background, I went to Penn State, studied computer science. So by profession, I'm a software engineer, so coder. And like, I think that actually kind of shows through with my like attraction to data and black and white and like what's going on here. And actually, so my background with that, like I've been trading now for roughly 10 years and like I've done all the same stuff of like penny stock trading, learning about options. I mean, at one point I paid off a semester of college with binary options, which like, if you think penny stocks are like the wild west of trading, you got to look at some like binary options. That stuff gets nuts. But it was actually through when I started learning coding in college that the real first success I found in trading was through algorithmic trading on the futures market. And some of my oldest videos on the channel, that's actually what it relates to. But that really didn't resonate with enough people. So I slowly but surely became like, I guess, like the duck shirt wearing guy that you see before you.
Yes. So I remember, and oddly enough, this is probably going to surprise you. I remember when you hit 10,000 subscribers, actually.
Wow.
I was watching you and you know how you just come up? I wasn't subscribed to you or anything. And you kind of came up and you going, "This is crazy. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers." And I was just like, you know what? Let me help them out. So I clicked on, and I didn't just click on to help you out. I clicked on because you were sharp at what you were saying. And I was just like, why does he only have 10,000 subscribers? This dude knows what he's talking about, right? And then before, I think you had 11,000 before it ended. And so I've been low-key watching you for a minute, as they say.
I appreciate that. But I'll be one of the first to admit that my delivery needed a little bit of an improvement. So like I felt confident about what I was saying, but delivery, I think I've been progressing on that. And even that, like just every day you learn a little bit here, you learn a little bit there, and you slowly but surely get better.
It's not easy. It's not easy, especially you're on from the time the market opens until it closes. I don't know how you do that, man. I'm like, it's when I do an hour, I've done 3 lives, and when I do an hour and a half, I'm like toast. How do you do that?
I don't know. Like, it's one of those things. So when this all happened, I was like, oh, this is like, because I had a job up until February of this year. So like I had a day job. I was working as a coder, company I really liked and everything. And I just kind of viewed it as like, at that point, it was like that awkward break-even point where I was like, I need to commit to YouTube before I'm making any considerable money. So it was almost more of like an anxiety thing where I was like, I need to hit it this hard just to be able to pay my bills. And from there, the storyline itself hasn't really calmed down at all. So I've just been doing it. So like at first I was like, oh, I'll do this for February. And then the end of February, I was like, all right, I'll continue it a little bit for March. And then all of a sudden in April, May, and then we're at the end of June. And it's just pure insanity. But what keeps me going? I guess it's just the group, but it's the energy. It's the love for this community. Cause like those days that I'm tired and whatever, dealing with like keyboard warriors and that, as I do that, I'll see like another message, another email of, hey man, I never messaged you, but like, I just want you to know you helped me make 50K, 100K. I paid off my house. You're the best. And I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy. Like just for me, like I'm here in my basement, like, and you never know the waves that you could really make from this type of stuff. So like just those stories of success, that's definitely a big aspect of the driving factor.
So this is one of the reasons why I have you on, because there's a lot of guys out there that are live and right now that really don't know what they're talking about, and they only know AMC. What a lot of people don't know about you is trading, period. And so I was watching in your earlier days, and I started going back to some of your older videos, and I'll be honest with you, I was amazed. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 26, almost 27.
Oh, yeah. I was amazed at your knowledge by your age. You know, I'm only a few years older than you, Sight. But what made you transition to covering AMC every day?
Yeah, so with this, a lot of my coverage is like kind of what's going on. Like right now it's AMC, GME. In the lull between February and I would say May, there was even some crypto questions in there. Like I always end up pivoting my comment to where the questions are. So like on a daily basis, like I'm just trying to answer that, like that knowledge I have. And like I'll be the first to admit, I still have quite a few things to learn, especially about like right now I've been learning a lot about stock market plumbing, dark pools, all that good stuff.
Right. We so all learned about dark pools.
Yeah. So it's like all iterating on like my own knowledge base and just trying to, I guess, cater it with like the current example. So even like a day-to-day, I'm teaching about technical analysis, and it just so happens that AMC and GME are the examples I'm using when I'm talking about this pattern or this divergence or yada, yada, yada. So it's always, those are the examples, but you're seeing it time and time again in different stocks. Because like if we're talking about new SEC rules, well, yeah, that impacts AMC and GME, but it also impacts literally every stock in the stock market. So it's the same, I guess, foundation of education, and it's just applying it to the stocks that people clearly have questions about at that moment in time. But I also think with AMC and GME, I think that's accurate as like for a high level discussion, but especially right now, I mean, and I think you kind of see this too. I mean, you've been trading for a while. Have you ever seen an event like this? This is beyond a black swan event. This is something so special.
Yes. Yeah. This is a once in a lifetime. This is like 2020. Yeah. This is like, no one will ever forget the year 2020, period. Yeah. But this is like an extension of 2020. I've never seen anything like this in over 27 years in the market. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think that's something special about streaming these two, and someone brought it up to me the other day, the fact that I've streamed every single day from pretty much the end of January till now. It like in a weird way, I have a long form documentary about the insanity of how it played out, the emotional highs, the lows, the price highs and lows, the stories, and like really, I guess even the crowd's interest. Like you could see it in my numbers and my analytics. It's like a long form representation of this entire half year story that like, I mean, at a certain point I could argue has really been building up since 2008, 2009, but like it's a crazy social cultural movement that happens to be playing out in these two specific stocks. And right now the hot ticket item is more so AMC.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. In 2008, when the banking and all of that went south, I always say this, and you know it to be true. There's always a bull market somewhere. I made more money in 2008 than I ever have in the stock market, and then the second year was 2020. So two of the worst years is when I made the most money. And so I always say this, I do a lot of positive speaking on my page. And it's just like, don't spend time crying over spilt milk. Look for opportunities in the market when things go crazy, right? Let's talk about the new rule.
Okay.
Explain the new rule, because there's a lot of misunderstanding on the timing when it could be enforced.
Okay. Yeah. So for the viewers out there, like, what is this new rule thing? Basically, a sub-department of the DTCC, the Depository Trust Clearing Corp. Basically, it's that entity in the back end that just makes sure it's like, that's the T2 settlement of like, you buy something, it's clear a couple of days later. They're the people who take care of that. A subsect of that is the NSCC, and they have a rule that was just approved yesterday, Monday, June 21st, depending on when you're watching this. And it's 002 is the rule. That was kind of the ending number, and that's how we refer to it. So this rule kind of works, and it piggybacks with a second rule, the same NSCC. That one is 801. These two together refer to SLDs, supplemental liquidity deposits. And what it is, it's a fancy schmancy way to talk about extra collateral. So right now, previously, the way the system worked, these members, which to my understanding are like kind of these clearing brokers. So like one clearing broker might work for like a whole batch of hedge funds. So whenever one of these members has in the past presented to be kind of too risky of a member, they're presenting an inherent risk to the overall system, they were checked once a month. But now with this new rule, they're actually checked on a daily, potentially intraday basis. So for me, not just AMC, not just GME, to me, this is a healthy, responsible way that the market should run. So now, and to more directly answer your question of when it's going to affect, we have email evidence that's been making its rounds on social media, speaking to someone working at the DTCC, that it should actually go into effect tomorrow, Wednesday, June 23rd. This is the last day that we haven't been running like that. When the market opens up tomorrow, that opens up then daily and intraday checks of this. And what's going to go on is if someone is too high risk, it's a margin call. It's either pony up the cash or cut your position. With that being said, though, I wouldn't out there be expecting a huge slew of margin calls tomorrow. No. I really, really wouldn't, because as much as we're talking about this and we know it's going into effect tomorrow, I mean, these hedge funds are no dummies. They obviously know it's coming too. These members know it's coming. So I bet they spent the last 48 hours preparing just so they're not the one who's made an example of. They don't want to be the one who's embarrassed. So overall, this is a very good thing, in my personal opinion. I'm happy that they passed it. Should be going into effect tomorrow, but I wouldn't mentally be thinking that there's going to be like all these crazy amount of margin calls. It's just a safer way for our system to run.
And then you got to look at who's going to enforce it, right? And a lot of people don't know, in a lot of cities, spitting on the sidewalk is against the law, and you can literally get a ticket for it. But who's enforcing it, right? And so everybody thinks, okay, it's over, the battle's over. No, it's just, it's just another play on our side, the retail investor, to try to level the playing field. And that's what this whole battle is about. It's not about what AMC or GME is worth. It's not about evaluations. And I get sick of talking heads keep talking about evaluations. We're way past evaluations, all right? Some say $5, some say $1, some say a penny. But this is what AMC is worth. It's not about that anymore. It hasn't been about that this year, really. And that's not what the ape movement is about. Let's dive into the grand old conversation of naked shorts, right?
Okay.
Let's deal with this naked shorts. And for those that are new and still don't understand what naked shorts are, give an explanation.
Okay, yeah, we can make this really simple. So typically, when you buy a stock, you get in at X, you hope it goes up to Y, and you profit that difference. That position is considered to be going long. Going short is the exact opposite. You would start the position, create the position by selling the stock at X, hope it drops to Z, and then you would buy back in and profit that difference. But you can't sell something you don't own. How would you do that? A lot of people call that fraud, stealing. You can't do that. So in this scenario, what you would do is you would borrow the shares from an original owner, and basically you now have an IOU. You would sell it, hope it drops, and then you would keep your profit, and you have to return that share to the original owner. So this involves borrowing share from someone who actually owns it to begin with. Naked shorting is when you sell stock to the market to create that short position, but you never ever borrowed it from an original owner. Why is this bad? Because you're messing with supply and demand. You just sold something to someone who now thinks that they own it, but you basically created shares out of thin air, phantom shares, fake shares, synthetic shares, whatever you want to call them. It's shares that should not exist. It's a short position that should not exist. And right there, you increase supply, but demand at that moment in time is going to be roughly the same. So when you do that, supply up, demand the same, that drives the price down. You're basically illegally, illicitly bloating the supply. And ever since 2008, 2009, this has been an illegal practice. It's just one of those things that like you were saying before, it can be tough to enforce. And it's one of those things that like, we'll talk about that. And that's the big question of like, okay, we know the short interest on AMC right now, it's roughly about 72 million shares, which converts around to 14%. But that is it's a floor. Because right there, we don't know the amount of naked shorts, because inherently the fact that they were never borrowed means they were never reported. So at a certain point where, I guess for lack of a better phrase, we're swinging in the dark to get this. And like, yeah, there's some reports, like you could check out the failure to delivers, because a naked short is a type of failure to deliver. And they're kind of correlated, but that's the issue right now. These things are not reported. So we don't know the magnitude. We just don't know how many, but we know it's an illegal practice that truly damages a stock.
Listen to the names of these: naked shorts, dark pools. I mean, it's just like, you know, if this was a superhero movie, you clearly know who the bad guy is just by the names, man.
I agree.
Hey,
I agree.
For those that are just joining, I want to take do a station break. This is Stock Up with Larry Jones. Today we have Matt Kohrs on. We're talking about AMC, and we got Larry Jones, we got Matt Kohrs, and we got the Ape Nation. What do you always say? Ruh-roh.
Old brother.
Old brother.
Old brother.
Old brother. Here comes Matt Kohrs in the Ape Nation. All right. Hey, let's get right to the elephant in the room.
Okay.
How can the Ape Nation win this battle?
That's a very, very good question. So I guess to start this off, I would argue that we're winning it. It's just more of a question of how do we win it to the point that we go straight to the moon with the stock price? Because right now, just from the data that we know that is reported from these legal, legitimate shorts, if you look at the average duration of how long they've been loaning out shares, if you kind of backtrack that a little bit, we know that they're in around the $10 mark. I mean, right now the stock is trading just south of 60, as in they're down 500% on the position alone. And then you sprinkle in the little fact that they're paying a cost to borrow fee every single day. So it's like a double whammy. We know that they're seriously, seriously underwater. So by that definition alone, I think we're winning. If you look at the chart, it's clearly trending upward. We're seeing this beautiful pattern of higher lows. We're winning in that. And then also from the start of 2020 until now, the start of 2021 until now, just fundamentally AMC, the world's opening back up. They raised a bunch of money to help pay off debt. They're making better deals. Like just the fundamental trajectory of this movie theater has improved. So when I look at the magnitude of the shorts, what the chart's been doing, and fundamentally what's going on with the company, all of those are trending upwards. Right now, like I always say this, it's a good day to be a member of Team Dumb Money. It's just what's been going on. So the big question next of like, okay, what's the next chapter? How do we go to bringing this price orbital?
Yes.
For me, it's conversations like this. It's spreading the story of what's going on, who are the players, what's truly the situation, how do we understand this terminology? So I think Ape Nation growing, that's just a natural more money inflow. Whether it's existing apes coming up with more money or just brand new apes, money needs to flow into AMC.
Into AMC.
Like it's buying and selling that moves the stock. Holding is obviously way better than selling. But if you're just holding, you're not impacting the current stock. It's the new buyers. It's the new sellers.
Right.
So with that, the community needs to grow. It's just new, fresh money, new, fresh bananas. That's what we need. And at a certain point, we're getting closer and closer to a major technical breakout. Yep. We've seen in the past week or two, clear rejections between 60 and 62. It goes up right above it, and then it gets knocked right back down.
Yep.
But one of these times, I mean, it's about 4 or 5 separate attempts, but we're on a chart perspective, we do it, but each time we get knocked back down, we don't get knocked down as far. And that's really key, because what it tells you is that we're stepping in earlier. The people buying, they're like, you know what? I don't want to miss this opportunity. So slowly but surely, we're stepping in earlier and earlier and earlier. And then we keep running up to that wall. And thus far, as we're filming this, who knows, by the time you're watching it, AMC might be insanely high. Yes. But at the time that we're filming this, we keep knocking at that wall. And I think when we finally get that breakout, it'll be a direct run to the current all-time high of 72, and then a breakout above that. I don't know how much supply is going to be there. I don't know the demand at that level, but if we break above that, who knows? You just got to let price discovery play itself out. You don't know between a short squeeze, a gamma squeeze, which more so relates to the options market, and then just good old-fashioned FOMO buying. Between those three, you don't know how high this thing could truly go.
I just wanted to pass 147. Can we push past $147? Now, I just have to say this. Neither Matt nor myself are our financial advisors. This is discussion. We're telling you what we're doing. You have to do your own research. I did a couple of videos. We keep putting that out there, but we're just trying to shine a light on this. This is not about evaluation. But if this were a game, I like the way you do this too. If this were a game and the good guys was trying to, beat the bad guys that have names, that play in rooms like dark pools and naked shorts. And if the good guys, that got good names like Matt Kohrs and Larry Jones and treys and all of these guys and Keenan Grace. And so if you got good guys, so what I would do, what Larry would do. So I had a long position and a short position, right? And I was trading my short position. I stopped that last week. This week, for a whole week now, I'm like, I'm not trading anymore because I'm serious about this battle, right? I'm holding, but I know that just me holding the stock is not enough. Thus, those of us that are holding, we're holding the door for new buyers to come in. And so if we hold, it keeps hitting 62 and it goes down, hitting 62 and goes down. If they keep pushing it down right at 62, and you just explain why. So not only am I holding now, but this week, and I'm kind of nervous, I actually have been buying even more, and I'm heavy, and it is my heaviest position, AMC right now. And I'm not telling you guys to do this, but I'm in this battle like big time. And so now that the messaging gets out, if more people buy more when they're trying to push it down, if we continue to hold and don't sell, and then newer people buy more, and those of us that could buy more, eventually we're going to break past that 62 ceiling, and 62 won't even be the floor. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Just to reiterate that this is not an endorsement to buy or sell. We're just sharing our own opinions. We're trying to shine that light, exactly what Larry just said, of like what the situation, like just what is going on? What does the data mean? Who are the players? We're just trying to bring up a story. And if it's something that resonates with you on any level, whether you're trying to make money, whether you're trying to stick it to Wall Street, or for some other undisclosed reason, hey, this is what the Ape Nation is about. This particular story is resonating with different people for different reasons. For me, it's a whole host, but I agree with you right there. It's just, I'm feeling good. I have my own money on it. I can tell you that. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm not going to put my own money on a play that I think is going to lose. I'm not like that crazy of a person. Like, come on. So like, it's right there. Like, the strength and the growth of this community, I just don't see how it ends up losing. But who knows? With anything in life, especially in the market, there's risk and reward to each situation. So no matter what you do, AMC, GME, or name anything, I don't care, a crypto, option, future, forex, you have to be playing with money that you're okay to lose. This is like, I always joke around, this is the opening of the casino, the closing of the casino. It's the world's biggest casino. And they don't like it, but that's what it is. And I'm just using casino to say there's risk reward.
Because
there's no way to.
It's not about fundamentals. And I'm all about fundamentals. This is not about fundamentals. And it's not. This is about, and I can tell you guys, this is about the good companies that you've had money in and invested in, and then you get fake short reports. Just think about all of the companies that's been overly shorted, unfairly shorted. Now, shorting done right is actually what I call a market correction, right? Shorting done right, I equate that to market correction. That's okay. And it's fair. But shorting, when you are doing all kind of dastardly underhanded things, and even like all these short reports and this and that, and you're playing unfair, and you're forcing doors closed. I did a video the other day that talked about, no one's talking about the 38,000 employees of AMC that could particularly, they could lose their jobs because of illegal practices, right? And so all we're trying to do is level the playing field. That's it. But like he said, this is not a high growth stock. This is not banking. This is not fundamental. This is not, do not go get a loan and buy up AMC. We're not telling you to do it, suggesting that in any way. But we are having an open discussion about this. And we're telling you where I am. Like where I am, if I lose, I'll be okay with it. Because I'll know when history is written, I'll know what side of history I'm on. And I know you're the same way.
That's exactly it. I could not have said it better. Like with this, I view it, I was talking on stream a little bit. It's like, there's two ways to play it. If I play this and it goes south on us, I can personally forgive myself for losing that money. I can make money back. I cannot forgive myself for knowing I'm this close to being potentially like a historic moment, knowing I'm this close and then pull the ripcord and just be like, nah, I don't want to be a part of it. I'll never forgive myself for that, but I can forgive myself for losing money.
Yeah, we're on the line right now. We've pushed through and we're on the line right now. I'm with you now. I'm too deep in. I'm from the west side of Chicago. Okay. I mean, hey, when the battle was on, my dad told me, so I came up with a big family. One of my brothers got into a fight in the street, and my other brother ran into the house. And my dad took a belt and he said, either you get it from me or you go back out there and help your brothers. And so I'm like, that's the way I see it. I'm gonna be out in the street helping my brothers because I'm not coming up against my dad.
That's some Ape Nation stuff. I like that.
There you go, man. And so that's where we are, man. I'm about the brotherhood. That's where I am. Not because it's popular, because I got my money behind it. But this is not just about this year. I just remember the pain and the turmoil of 2008. It was ridiculous. And name me one of the hedge fund managers or the hedge funds that caused it. Name me the banking CEOs that knew this stuff was going on. Name me one that went to jail. I'll wait.
Yeah, you can't.
See what I mean? Yeah. It's we have to do something about it. It's people have to realize when you sell a stock, someone's buying it, and that's okay. But if they trick you into selling it and they force the price down, and then they buy it cheaper than you, they stole it from you. That's the way I see it. It's unfair. This is Larry talking, so it's not Matt. So if y'all want to sue somebody, my name is, no, I'm just joking. Treys. No, I'm joking. So you know what? There was a media outlet that you guys came on. They had contacted me to be on it, and I didn't read my email. And and I shouted out Trey's Trades, and they contacted him, and he came on.
Okay.
And I will tell you, and that was before you came on, I will tell you that I wasn't supposed to get that email because he did a much better job than I ever could have. I was like, man, there was no way I would have handled that interview like he did. And so I'm glad that Trey's Trades and yourself have rise to the top and have been hitting this media, because some other media think they're going to have you guys on and toy with you guys. And every time I see you guys on, I'm like a proud uncle. You know, I'm Uncle Larry. I'm like, that's my nephew, Matt. I like him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Trey, I mean, when he goes on his or even his like content, it's just his energy so infectious.
Oh man,
like there's so many people who are like, man, I found you after Trey, but I got into AMC just because like I was watching this guy Trey talking. Like, do you know him? Like, yeah, I know Trey. And he's just like, it really is infectious. And I think with it, like I think a lot of people involved in AMC end up knowing my name, end up knowing Trey's name. And it's cool because we all play our different part. Like we all provide a little bit of a different value. And it's this team effort. There's no leader of this. I mean, I guess Adam Aaron, the CEO, could be some form of leader, but it's all like a collective hive mind input of okay, I like this opinion, I like this one, I like this DD, I like the way he explained this. Like it's we're all in these trenches together. That's what this is. It's one movement, and we all just want it to be a giant success. Yeah.
Who do you watch on YouTube? Who did you come up watching? Who do you watch?
Oh, so man, coming up watching when I was like actually around the time you found me and even smaller, like so just like those classics, I always watch Andre Zick, Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan, Jeremy from Financial Education. That was even before I had a YouTube, and I was like, oh, I think I could do this. But it's like it's crazy because there's that basket of people, and you're like, is this possible? And then as I started creating, there was a couple more. Like I've known about you for a while. I knew about Stockmo for a while, like because I mean, I remember Stockmo actually started his channel after me, and within like a couple of weeks,
did you see that?
Like,
that Stockmo started? Crazy. Yes, I started. I think me and Stockmo started at the same time, and he exploded. I looked. I was like, "What the heck?" Yeah,
it was
crazy.
It was absolutely crazy. And so just all that financial content. And then right now with AMC, I mean, like I watch Trey's videos. I actually talk to Trey a lot. Like we try to figure out what's going on, the best way to like explain concepts. But there's a handful of amazing creators. And like you said before, like they kind of get suggested to you. Like after you watch a video and you see one like, hey, and for that, my suggestion is consume all the content. Like this is a good trading career tip.
Come on, this is true.
You consume as much as you can. This is any skill set. The more you consume, the better. And right there, that doesn't mean everything's accurate. You have to do DD. You have to check it. Like if something sounds awful or too good to be true, on both ends of the spectrum, look into it. Do a little bit of research, see if it checks out. Because I think there's a lot of amazing players in this arena who truly want the best. But I also think that there's some people just trying to like grow their brand who like, they don't really care about the AMC movement. And that becomes pretty obvious in their first video. You're like, okay, like they don't really know what's going on. But check it out. There's amazing, the list goes on and on and on of people who are just trying to explain it a different way. Hey, if you don't resonate with me, check out Larry here. Maybe he explains it in a better way that clicks with you. And that's what we want. If you end up not liking me, but like someone else makes you an ape, hey, I still count that as a win. I really, really do.
I always suggest treating YouTube like TV. You don't just watch one station. You know, I don't care if you have steak every day. You're not going to eat steak every day. It gets boring after a while. And I always suggest that people literally go channel surfing and because you get different points of views. You could talk about the same subject, but everybody brings something a little different to the table, right? And I've given a lot of people, so you know, whenever we travel, people start, you know, they recognize me, and I know you're getting that now. And they, AMC, who should I watch? You know, I watch you every day. I like, and I always say, hey, Matt Kohrs, watch him every day. He's on. He's on literally while the market is open. So I'm going to, everybody that watches Matt Kohrs, number one, if you're in AMC, I don't care if you got one stock in AMC, you need to be watching Matt Kohrs, period. I'm just telling you. You just need to be watching Matt Kohrs. But here's what I'm gonna ask your audience to do for you. And I noticed this, like, you take a break. I don't know, man. You got a bladder like a camel, cause he's on all day, and then he just every time, like, you take one bathroom break, like 7 hours, 7.5 hours, and then I go, man, how is he doing that, man? But I want to ask your audience to do this. When you go to your bathroom break, or you go to grab a sandwich or drink some water, everybody do Matt Kohrs a favor that's watching him. Hit the refresh button. And here's why. Number one, you don't want to just look at his desk. Number two, a commercial plays. And when a commercial play, let it play all the way through. It helps his channel out. So instead of you watching him, you could actually do like a regular TV and watch some commercials until he gets back. You're not going to miss anything. The commercials are only, 30 seconds? So I just wanted to put that out there. I was like, so now when I watch you and you go to take your break, I hit refresh. I was like, well, at least he'll get this commercial. So
I appreciate that. That might be a hard sell though. I think sometimes I stay on. My secret of why I stay on is because I'm worried that they're going to start liking chair more than me. Like, I'll go for a couple minutes and they're like, we want chair back. So
we want chair.
I have to stay on the face. Just like, I'm hoping people forget about chair, but I know it's more of like chair show. And I just happen to be like a featured guest all day, but I'm just trying to steal that limelight.
Doesn't treys? I was watching him one day and they were talking about his lamp. So there was like his lamp is a feature now. Yours is the chair.
Excuse me. Yeah, hey. But I would assume it's the same thing for Trey, just afraid that the lamp's going to take all the limelight.
Hashtag lamp and chair. I'm going to ask this question because I know a lot of people want to know this.
Okay.
When this is over, let's say the squeeze happens, this thing shoots to the moon. What's your exit plan, right? I know what it is for me, and I believe I heard you say the same thing. So I think you and I exit plan is the same, though we're nowhere close to the exit plan right now. Yeah. But, and it's about shares, is about them covering. So I want you to explain what it is, what your exit plan is for people that just want to know, how should I get out?
Yeah,
when it's time.
This is probably one of the most common questions I get is like, okay, I'm in it. We have it. I'm up a lot of money. When do I possibly get out? And I think right now it's actually easier because people are like, I've heard this price level. I've heard this price level. I've heard this date, whatever. The price levels, the dates, it's a lot in your head. I get that. I think it's actually easier. I think it says the trend is your friend. If on a daily basis, if every couple of days you're seeing it slowly keep going upward and there's still shorts, that's what you like. For me, as long as that trend is intact and as long as the shorts are still shorting the stock, it's easy peasy. I keep my position. But one of these days, when you see a giant amount of shorts covering, you're going to see an explosion in price. It doesn't necessarily have to be over a day. It is possible that it could go slowly but surely up and up and up, and the shorts cover. So for me, I'm watching the trend and I'm looking for the shorts. So basically the high level headline of when I possibly get out is when the shorts when they cover, when I see all those shares on loan finally return and the shorts are out of their position, well, that's when I take my profits. It's not this complexity of this date, this price level. I'm just watching the chart and I'm looking at the short position. So with there, like, I get it. It's not perfect. It really isn't, because we don't have a pure data source. The naked shorts we were talking about earlier, we don't know about them. They're not reported. So is this a perfect methodology? No, but trading isn't perfect. Your goal should be to take a majority of the move. You're not going to bottom ticket. You're not going to top ticket. But if you're in here and you take 70, 80, 90% of the overall move, that's a massive win. That's beyond a massive win. Your P&L will be disgustingly high. That should be your goal. That's my goal. I can't tell you what to do, but that's my plan moving forward. Yep.
Is there anything you want to let? So oddly enough, most of my audience is somewhere around the age of 35, but I also have I have older and younger people that watch my page, and so I got a wide range as far as an audience is concerned. Is there anything that you want the younger audience to know, and is there anything you want the older audience to know?
Okay, so Starting off with the younger audience, I'll just run with the assumption that they're potentially newer to the market.
Newer traders.
Understand that this is volatile. Like, so it's one of those things that you get in and maybe you got in a little bit too aggressively, 60, 65, and you see it, like it's a volatile play. It could drop to 50 like it's nothing. And you see that, and that sucks. That's a punch to your gut. When in doubt, if you're looking at like a couple minute chart, couple hours, and you see red, stocks ebb and flow. There's no such thing as a stock exclusively going up. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the bigger picture. Is the overall movement still intact? Because if so, a 1 hour red bar, a 1 day red bar, it's not that big of a deal. This is how stocks naturally move. That's just part of this game. You want to actually buy on weakness and then sell on strength. When things are ripping, that's not the time for you to buy. That's the time for you to sit back with a smile on your face. If you're looking to build up a position, look for levels of support. Buy on weakness. There's that Warren Buffett quote, you be greedy when others are fearful, and then be fearful when others are greedy. So for new people in the market, understand this is a highly volatile play. And then for more experienced traders, people who've been in the market for a bit, my recommendation for you is like, understand this has nothing to do with a fundamental play. Myself, I have a fundamental portfolio. Like, I'll look at good blue chip stocks. I'm prepared to be in it 5, 10, 15 years. I think there's some advantage in this sector, this stock, yada, yada, yada. This is not that whatsoever. This is a giant social movement that happens to be playing out on a stock chart. We talk about shortages because that's the 5D game of chess we're currently playing to see if the bulls, the apes can capture the bears, the people betting against it. That's all this is. No one in the community is arguing this is a fundamental play. We are all very, very like confident in the fact that it isn't. So when mainstream media comes on, they're like, oh, this is so far fundamentally overvalued. We're like, we agree. That's not what we're going for. Like, you're not telling us anything new.
You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Oh, no. This is just, I was just finishing up. Like, it's not a fundamental play. It's not a long-term investment. It's a swing play. It's a momentum play to see if a short squeeze, gamma squeeze, or FOMO buying can really shove this stock like all the way to the moon.
Mm-hmm. You know, you were speaking about media. I have been shocked that one news media that represents one political side, you know what I'm saying, and another news media that kind of represent another political side have the polar opposite. They've been playing this the polar opposite way of which I thought they would be playing it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I've thought about that, and I've had some conversations with people. And before this started, like, if you were to ask me, like, hey, if there was an overall movement that's going to be against Wall Street, against big money, like for one political side, that seems to be in line with their political stance, a layup of a thing to really harp on, and not so much the other side that's known for money, economic growth. Let's see how much money we can get.
Yes, exactly.
Like you said, it is the exact opposite. And I don't know why. Maybe it's something to worthwhile to look into, see their funding or who's contributing to their campaigns. Because I don't know, but I admit it does seem, at least on the high level political scale, to be the inverse of what I would have guessed it to be. Yeah,
I always notice what's not being said. It's just that's what speaks loud to me. It is crazy. It's crazy, man. This has really been cool. If you're new to this page, go ahead on both pages. This is what I want everybody to do. If you're subscribed to my page and not subscribed to Matt's page, please do that right now, and vice versa. And if you're just new and you see this live stream, go ahead on both pages. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, and most importantly, the notification bell, so you can get noticed when we go on. I've got to ask you, Matt, when this is all said and done, the squeeze happens. We win, right? You make enough money to buy you, your great-grandchildren houses, and I do the same. What's next for Matt? Are you going to go to the next, what they call meme stock movement? Or are you just going to go broader? What are you going to do?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, for how much I like talk per day, I'll probably just go silent for a week. Like, I'll just go on vacation. I'm not going to say a word. Like, I'll just complete silence. And then after that, after I kind of recharge, get mentally back to where I am, like for me, this is one chapter in the book. It's an awesome chapter, and I'm happy it's playing out. But there was always that next thing. I don't know if it's going to be in stocks or crypto or options. But for me, I truly enjoy teaching. I love that I can make people a little bit more excited, joke about stocks, because it typically is a dry subject. What you and I do. Yeah, we're filling that niche in financial literacy because unfortunately there's not really good financial education in the US and I would assume in the rest of the world. So for me, I like teaching, I like entertaining, and if on the way I can help make some people make some money, that's what I'm here for. So there's always going to be that next thing. Do I know what the next thing is? Can I call out a meme stock or whatever they want to call it right now? Absolutely not. But there's always going to be that next mover. There's always going to be questions. And I'm the person who's willing to, like, I guess, put in the research and share what I understand of the situation to the best of my ability and hopefully make some people some money.
There you go. That's what I'm all about. I'm about generational wealth. Those that follow me know I'm about creating generational wealth, and for people that every time I see people, I say, hey, Wall Street looks like you now. Wall Street looks like you. And I've been saying that for years. And there's a gentleman, Wall Street Trapper. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he is teaching African American in the African American communities, in low income communities. I think he just came from Africa, and I love what he says. He says, Wall Street looks like you. I say that to everybody that follows me. Wall Street now, you look like Wall Street. Wall Street looks like you now. And you know, it's not just the suits and the old guys and the suits that have all the money now. And so that's what we need to do. Our schools are failing us. They're not teaching finances. You know, you probably, just like myself, had to learn most of the stuff on your own. You didn't get taught this in school. I know you didn't. And so it's like, this is crazy. I want to wrap this up by saying, number one, for those of you that have questions, I am so sorry. We kind of put this together really quickly because we've both been so crazy busy. And my brother is my tech. He's way on the other side of the room, and I can't see your questions. And so we're going to do this again. Matt, would you agree to do this again at a later date? We'll get together on that. And then we'll read your questions and we'll go that route. We'll get it all together. But
just post a few.
Yeah, just post a few congratulations while we're talking. He's going to post a few of your while we're talking. But I just wanted to say, man, where were you at the beginning of this year as far as subscribers? And did you think that any of this was possible for you?
Not at all. I mean, I remember sometime in January, I hit 10,000, which you were alluding to that before. And I was like, oh, man, like that's it. But what's weird is on December 31st, so it was one of the first times I've ever done it. I wrote down my New Year's goals. I was like, all right, like, what are we going to do, Matt? Like, gotta set goals. I felt so non-confident about 100,000. I wrote down 75,000 and put in asterisks as 100 and put reach goal, as if like I couldn't even be like, no, like you're going to just set yourself up for failure. So did I expect this? Not at all. Like I remember when I hit 10,000, a little bit later, I hit 11 and I called my friend. I was like, man, if I really push it, I could hit 11,500. Like I was so jacked up about it. And even now, like, it just shows the power of what's going on with this movement of like my fortunate and very, very grateful for this rise has because this particular story, it's just changing lives. It's a huge impact. It's just like, I happen to be involved in a group of apes in this ape nation who's really going for crazy change. So
yeah, man,
it was one of those things that like, it's been insane. I could not like day to day. 3 days ago, did I even imagine I'd be here talking with you? No, every 24 hours, I'm like, what is going on?
Crazy.
Man, I just try to appreciate every second of it. And what's crazy to me is like to understand and really embody the fact that we're not over. That's one of the nuts things is that this story is still building.
It's still going.
I don't know. We've seen maybe like a prelude, like a couple of fireworks that they're setting off just to see everything's good. But I don't think we've seen the grand finale quite yet.
Me either, man. It's crazy. Like you said, it's life-changing. I mean, I did a premiere, and while I was on the premiere, people where somebody made $500,000 on AMC. Somebody made $1 million like on AMC, and these were real. These were my normal followers, like life-changing money. You know, they were doing stocks and options, just life-changing. And I know people lives have been changed while you were doing your live stream. Like these are the blue collar workers, man. I celebrate when people win, man. I just want people to win. And it's not that you or myself, it's not that we're against rich people. We're not against institutions or Wall Street. We just want our fair share. And I always say hashtag dumb money woke. If 1% owns over 50%, what is that, Larry, for second African American president? Somebody said they love your chair. What did they say? The chair. They said they love your chair, man. Matt,
I told you, chair's coming for me. I'm losing.
That's it. That's it. What did I say? Matt, thank you for a great presentation of the apes. You have helped so many of us. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. I watch Matt every day. What does that say? Uncle Larry. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate all you guys. Lamp versus chair. There you go. Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Lamp on chair. There you go, lamp on chair. You know, I was thinking about something funny. Just think of Trey's Trades doing an interview with Keenan Grace. Energy versus energy, man. Keenan Grace and Trey's Trades doing an interview together. Y'all make that happen. Talk about energy. That's off the chain energy, man. So
that
hey,
could be
man,
really interesting.
Anything you want to say in closing?
I appreciate the opportunity. So excited to talk more about it, have an open discussion, but super excited to have this play out. But I appreciate the conversation we had. I hope there's some people out there who maybe didn't even know what was going on with AMC and the apes and everything. Right. And I hope this gives you a little bit of knowledge, and let's just ride this thing to the moon.
Let's ride it to the moon. And I'll say this, and I know you agree with me. I see this trend every day with AMC. I see where I can just grab money every day. You know, I can see, I know when to buy and I know when to sell, and I can grab money every day. But then there's that little thing in your head go, as soon as I sell this stock, it's going to squeeze, right? And there's some times when I get tempted, I'm going, do you know how much I'm up right now? But then there's that voice. And I know a lot of you guys are the same way. You go, man, if you sell right now, you know, and I know we're going through that, and I go through that too. But I'm nowhere close to where I want to be. I'm going to let a commercial play now. See, the people they understand what I'm saying. Yeah, when y'all watching Matt tomorrow, he's on that opening bell until closing bell. When he goes to take a water break, hit the refresh button and listen to the entire commercial. All right? It just helps him out. Help a brother out. Help a brother out. Hey, next time you come to Chicago, I'm just south of Chicago. Let's get together and let's sit in the same room and let's bring this to the people.
Yeah, we'll do a live stream in person. I'm excited.
Hey, that sounds good, man. So, hey, good people. I always say good people. Good people. When I say good people, that means God's people. That means he created everybody. He created you perfect. I don't care what size, what shape, what color, what age. It doesn't matter. He created you perfect. We all have imperfections, but he created you that way for a reason. Hey, we're going to keep this going on. We're going to do this again. We're going to read some comments the next time. Thanks again, Matt. Man, you are the man. I commend you. And we're going to keep bringing this to you guys until we win this. But the battle is just starting. Okay, good people. And anything else you want to say in closing, Matt?
Nope. I just appreciate it. And let's keep fighting the good fight, apes.
Let's fight it, man. Let's fight it. And hey, when this is over, we going to party together. Man, we going to party, man. You know what? We going to make Matt do the church dance. All y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He gonna do the church dance when we make that money. All right, good people. We love you guys. Hey, Matt, I'll email you and we'll be talking.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, good people. Have a good one. Live, love, laugh, and learn.